If I had to try really hard to find a reason why you shouldn't buy a Haval H6 Hybrid, I could only think of one, but we'll get to that later. In this review, we talk about battery power. I open a sunroof, I sit in the back seat with a child seat, I go for a drive on the highway, and another drive on a rooftop, and another drive at night because you guys love night scenes. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow us to get started. As you may know, this car is a petrol-electric hybrid, meaning you get a 1.5-liter turbo petrol engine which works together with a hybrid battery. Now you might ask yourself, why such a setup? Well, benefit number one is a low fuel consumption. And in this economy, we all just want to save as much money as we can because as you just saw, we had another massive petrol price increase. Diesel is even worse. Let's not even talk about those guys. But petrol went up by 25 million and this is what we're now paying. Bad, I know. So, one of the major issues that faced Haval when it first launched, everybody said, great car, great interior, we love it, it's amazing, great spec, great price, but the fuel consumption. So Haval gave us the hybrid. Now, recently I did a review on the Land Rover Defender and that was a plug-in hybrid, meaning you had to find a charging station to top up your battery. But this one is a self-charging hybrid, which I personally prefer. And because I know there's someone who's asking themselves, how does it charge then? How? I'll tell you. While you brake, it'll charge itself. And second, it uses the internal combustion engine to charge up the battery. So there you have it. You never have to stress about finding a charging station or worry about load shedding. Now, the combined power output is 179 kilowatts and 530 newton meters of torque. Your gearbox is a CVT gearbox, but it's one of the good CVTs. And on the topic of good things, let's move on to the interior. You'll be happy to know both front seats are heated, although because of the heat right now, I don't see anyone using that. Both front seats are electrically adjustable and it's a very clean looking interior overall. And as you can see, you have a 12.3-inch infotainment screen with wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You also have speakers, but Haval really needs to improve on their sound systems. Those are your shortcut buttons. If you want to adjust your air conditioning, that is where you'll do it. Proper 360 camera, you have wireless charging, and if you need to put your drinks, that is where you'll put them. You have a rotary dial to adjust your gears, an electric handbrake, and a very comfortable proper center armrest. The H6 is a true family car because it's got a lot of storage spaces. You've got that center armrest, you have that space over there, so if ever you want to hide anything, you will not struggle. You also get a heated steering wheel, but Haval steering wheels are a little too thin. I wish they would make them a bit thicker. You have a 10.25-inch digital instrument display and push-to-start technology. If you are looking to buy a Haval H6, space is important to you and you will not be disappointed. There is plenty of legroom. You also have rear air vents which should help with this heat. You have 2 USB ports at the back and the floor is pretty much flat, so you could squeeze in 3 passengers. In the center, you have a center armrest with a slot for 2 cups, and in terms of your headroom, all of it is there. You don't have any issues, you won't have any struggles. There is your reading light in case you like reading novels. And for those of you with babies, if you want to sit in the back seat with Spamandla, shout out to Spamandla, you can slot in your child seat without any issues. Before we get to the safety features, let me tell you about the fun stuff. You have launch control. It'll do 0 to 100 in 8.5 seconds. Although I don't know how many parents will be launching their Haval SUVs. If you do that, yeah. Anyway, in terms of safety, you have 7 airbags, pre-collision warning, automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, and rear collision warning. So your family should be nice and safe. Speaking of safety, to be safe, you need to see where you're going. And as I've stated in previous Haval videos, Havals have proper lights. You'll see exactly where you're going. And then there's the light bar at the rear. Well done, Haval. Well done. In your interior, you have ambient lighting. So this is a view from the front passenger seat, and on the dashboard you'll notice there's some kind of electric patterns going on. It's a nice touch. And because this is a Haval, as standard you have an adaptive cruise control system. Very handy, very useful. It'll even steer itself between the lanes. But one thing to note with Haval cruise control systems is that when the car is approaching a curve or a bend, it'll just start braking on its own, which can be a bit confusing for the driver behind you, so keep that in mind. In terms of the fuel consumption, the claimed fuel consumption is 5.2 liters to the 100. When I was driving around town in stop and go traffic, around stop signs and robots, I was getting around 6.2 and 6.3. But when you take it out on the highway, because you're using the engine more than the batteries, I got around 7.2 liters to the 100. But I'm very confident that you can get less than that. Before we get to our prices, let's take a quick look at the boot. You have an electric tailgate. Now, you guys already know this is a hybrid, so you know the boot space is a bit compromised. Over there, you'll notice there is mud. It's not me, it came like that. Underneath, you have your batteries and tire repair kits. So, this is the one thing I don't like about this vehicle. The fact that there is no spare wheel. That would be okay if Haval at least gave the option of run flat tires, but that is not an option either. So you have to learn very quickly how to repair a tire if ever anything happens. In terms of the space though, you can still fit suitcases and a person if your car is full. But that would be an overload, and I think that's a crime, so don't do that. But you know what isn't a crime? Liking and subscribing. Guys, thank you so much for 50,000 subs. I really appreciate it. I have a couple of interesting videos on the way. So if you're watching this video and you haven't liked, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Support local YouTube, guys. It's the right thing to do. And we're still on the road to 60,000 by December. So please share the channel where you can. Speaking of sharing, I will not be sharing my eggs with anyone. As you can see, the price of eggs has increased. But you know what price hasn't changed? The price of this Haval. I did a review on it a year ago and the price has stayed exactly the same. And I have to say, well done Haval, well done, because as you guys know, so many other brands increase prices every other month. Which brands those are, I won't say VW, but yeah, they increase prices like it's nothing. Anyway, this Haval H6 Hybrid is 669,950 Rand. On finance, you're looking at 13,098 Rand over 6 years at 12% interest. And with our new increased petrol prices, a full tank will cost you 1,541 Rand. If you got an insurance premium of 2,300 Rand, it would bring your total cost of ownership to 16,939 Rand. In terms of services, you have a 5-year, 60,000 kilometer service plan, and for your peace of mind, you have a 5-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty, and you also have a 8-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty on your hybrid battery. But just before I end this review, there are a couple of features I need to mention. The first is that 360-degree view camera. It's like being able to look outside with your own eyes but through a screen. It's very clear. Second is that head-up display. Very useful. And third, that panoramic sunroof. Proper stuff. The last one is blind spot monitoring, which comes in handy when you're driving around Polo Vivo drivers. I just have one question for you before you leave. If you look to your left, you'll notice there is a Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro Max billboard on your screen right now. And did you know the price difference between these two cars is only 50 Rand? If you haven't seen my Cherry review, I'll leave a link in the description. But which of the two would you take and why? Let me know in the comments below. And yes, those light bars are very similar. What you're currently seeing on your screen is me helping you save money. 500,000 Rand for a hybrid Haval. That's a difference of 170,000 Rand over just 23,000 kilometers, and as you're seeing on your screen, it's not the only one. So Havals clearly don't hold their value well, which is actually a good thing if you're looking to buy it used. Not only that, if you're looking for one that's still relatively new, you could still get them from around 600,000 Rand. And given the current price of eggs, if you can save even 50,000 Rand, that'll go a long way. Don't forget to check out my sponsor changecars.co.za. I've done my part as Mr. How Much. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, take care.